Hello and welcome to Main Street Matters by Heart on Main Street, the podcast that believes that what gets measured gets improved, and consistent improvement is what helps you grow. I am your host, Patrick Keiser. This is episode number nine of our Duct Tape Marketing series based on John Jantsch's classic small business marketing system. Over the past 8 episodes, we have talked about building the marketing hourglass, finding your ideal customer, creating your talking logo, using content to build trust, strengthening your digital storefront, generating referrals on purpose, staying consistent with a marketing calendar, and tapping into the power of community partnerships. If you have not listened to any of these episodes and are just jumping in today, I highly encourage you to go back and listen to the other 8 episodes, get caught up. We will be referencing back and building upon information that we talked about in those. But if you just want to jump in and learn about today's topic, be my guest. This is our last week of episodes looking at duct tape marketing. We will have some other episodes next week, and then I'll dive right back into a new book for October and going into November. I think I originally said that this was a summer book club series, and we've officially begun fall. But I'm liking this. I hope you are too, so we're going to keep it going. As always, I love feedback, and the amount of feedback that I have been receiving has been very affirming. So if you like this too, let me know. If there's something from this series that has really stood out or has clicked with you, please email me and tell me. Those things really inspire me to keep going. You can always reach me at contact@heartonmainstreet.org. Today, we're getting into something that many retailers avoid: numbers, metrics, tracking results. I get it. Most independent retailers did not start their shop because they love spreadsheets. You started because you love products and your customers and your community. But here's the truth. Without tracking the right numbers, you're flying blind. You might think something is doing really well for you when in fact it's been lackluster. Or you think something is a flop because it's still on your shelf when in actuality 90% of it sold out within a few days, and what remains is there because it's not being presented the same anymore, and you actually need to reorder it instead of putting it on clearance. Or something is doing really well, but you've set the price at a point where you're getting no margin off of it. Yikes! John Jantsch says it plainly. What you measure becomes your focus. What you ignore gets lost. In this episode, we'll talk about why measurements matter, why metrics are actually useful for independent retailers, and how to track them without needing fancy tools, and how to use the numbers to make smarter decisions. And as always, we're going to finish up with 3 steps that you can take this week to start measuring what matters. So get ready to think in rows, columns, and lines. It's book club time. Let's start with the big picture. Why bother tracking metrics at all? Hopefully you intuitively know this. Even if you're not a numbers person, you know that you should be paying attention to the business's metrics. And the larger obstacle is that maybe you don't feel like you have the time to drill down into the data. Or maybe you don't know how to probe the numbers to get the most information in the limited amount of time you have before you have to do something else or your eyes start to bleed looking at numbers. I get it. Well, first, measurement tells you what's working. If you run a Facebook or Instagram ad and foot traffic jumps, well, you believe it worked. If you run the same ad again and nothing happens, you know that something's changed. Without tracking impressions and clicks and other metrics that the ad tell you, you're just guessing. Second, measurement saves money. Retailers often waste money on marketing that doesn't work because they never check results. You created something, you liked it, you run it again, you assume it's successful because, well, you liked it, so it has to be, right? Tracking helps you stop wasting and double down on what brings return. Third, measurement gives clarity. When business feels slow, metrics show whether it's really a traffic problem, a conversion problem, a repeat customer problem. Instead of saying, we need more sales, you can pinpoint where in the customer journey the issue lies. Fourth, measurement informs. As I mentioned earlier, many retailers have false impressions about how products are doing in their stores. They think something is selling really well when it's not. They think something is a stinker when it's actually been pretty good. They think something is inconsequential to their business when in reality it's a great impulse or add-on buy and the margins are fantastic. Your memory is faulty. The numbers don't lie. And finally, measurement motivates. When you track progress, you can celebrate wins and see improvement over time. Jantsch writes, without measurement, marketing is just guessing. With measurement, it becomes a system. The key is focusing on simple, meaningful metrics, not drowning in the numbers. So here's the heart of today's episode. What should independent retailers measure? You don't need 50 metrics. You need a handful that tell the story of your business. I like to group them into 3 categories: traffic, engagement, and sales. Let's first talk about the traffic metrics and look at who's showing up to your store. These measure how many people are finding you. What is your penetration out into the community? So first thing you should look at is foot traffic. How many people walk into your store? A simple clicker counter can work. You can put something at the door that measures people coming in and out. Website traffic. How many people visit your website each month? Use Google Analytics or built-in website tools to help measure this. Search traffic. How many views is your Google business profile getting? This shows local visibility. And social reach. How many people are seeing your posts? And why does this matter? If traffic is low, no matter how great your service is or your products are, that doesn't help. You need the awareness first to get people into your store. The second part of this is engagement metrics. Who's paying attention to you? If traffic is good, are people engaging with you? Look at your email opens and click rates. Are people reading your newsletter and clicking? Look at social media engagement. Likes, comments, shares. Are people interacting with your content? Event participation. How many people attend in-store and online events? And then review volume and ratings. How many reviews are you getting and what's your average score? Engagement shows interest and trust. Without it, you might be having people that are coming through the door, you're getting that traffic, but maybe it's not converting. And then the third part of this is sales metrics. Now, duct tape marketing is a lot about the marketing, but there's definitely an element of converting that into sales. So this is really where the rubber meets the road. So looking at conversion rate, out of everybody that walks in, how many are buying something? What is the average transaction value? How much does each customer spend per visit? Repeat customer rate. How many customers come back within a 3-month period, 90 days, give them. See how many people are buying per 90 days and are they coming back again and again? And what is the referral rate? How many new customers mentioned that they were referred by somebody else? And this might take asking, how did you hear about our store? Did someone tell you about our store? Maybe asking your consistent customers if they can refer you to their friends. Sales metrics show if your marketing is actually driving revenue and loyalty. And here's a bonus one, customer feedback metrics. Not all metrics are numbers. Sometimes the most valuable data comes from simply asking, how did you hear about us? What made you decide to shop here? And would you recommend us to a friend? Feedback helps you understand the story behind the numbers. So how do we track metrics simply? You might be thinking to yourself, all of this sounds great, but I don't have the time to track all of these numbers. Good thing, you don't need complex dashboards and expensive software. Here's how independent retailers can track simply. Pick 5 core metrics. Choose 1 or 2 from each of the categories that I outlined before: traffic, engagement, and sales. I gave you 4 in each one. Choose 1 or 2. That's going to be enough. Track monthly. If you're not a numbers person, you don't need daily updates. You're going to burn out trying to keep up with that. So once a month, sit down and record your numbers in a simple spreadsheet or notebook. Use built-in tools. Your POS system tracks sales. Your email platform tracks opens. Your website tracks visitors. And Google gives you review and search data for free. Look at this information that's already available to you. And visualize trends. Don't just look at numbers in isolation as numbers on a screen. You can put them into graphs and charts to get a better visual impression of them. Watch how they move over time. Is foot traffic trending up? Is your repeat customer rate improving? Were you doing something during 1 month that caused the numbers to spike or dip? That can inform you about what's actually going on. Jantsch says simple measurement done consistently is more powerful than complex dashboards done occasionally. The goal is not perfection, it's clarity. So you want to use metrics to make better decisions. Once you've got the numbers, what do you do with them? Metrics should help guide your decisions. So here's some examples. Low traffic, invest in your awareness. Look at social ads. Help improve your local SEO. Maybe look at creating partnerships with other businesses in your community. If you have low engagement, rethink your content. Are you educating, entertaining, and connecting? That's episode 4 of this Duct Tape Marketing series. Go back and listen to that. If you have low conversion, look at your in-store experience. Are displays clear? Is staff welcoming? And if you have a low repeat rate, focus on retention. Email campaigns, loyalty programs, customer follow-up, all of these things can get your customers to come back in your store and buy again. Metrics aren't about judgment, they're about diagnosis. They show you where to focus your energy for the biggest payoff. So as we wrap this up, how can you apply this concept this week? 3 practical steps that you can take right now. Pick those 5 metrics. Choose 1 or 2 from the traffic, engagement, and sales that I talked about and write them down. Start tracking them monthly. Create a simple spreadsheet or a notebook and record your numbers at the end of this month. We're coming up on the end of this month, so it's close enough. And then decide on one action. Look at those numbers and pick one thing to improve next month. That's it. No dashboards, no overwhelm. Just want you to be more clear about your business. And that's it for episode 9 of our Duct Tape Marketing series. Today we learned why metrics matter, which ones to track, how to track them simply, and how to use them to make smarter decisions. Next week, in our final episode of Duct Tape Marketing, episode 10, we'll bring it all back together, looking at the marketing system mindset and making it stick. We'll talk about how to turn everything that we've learned into a long-term system that keeps your marketing running, and even when your life gets busy. If you found today's episode helpful, share it with another retailer who avoids metrics just like you. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, leaving a quick review is the best metric for us. It helps other retailers find our show. You can find the resources that Heart on Main Street offers, our webinars, and so much more at www.heartonmainstreet.org. Until next time, stay safe, shop local, and keep your heart on Main Street. This episode was written, produced, researched, and edited by me, Patrick Keiser, with a very special thanks to John Jantsch in his book, Duct Tape Marketing. For more information about Heart on Main Street, you can visit www.heartonmainstreet.org, and you can email us at contact@heartonmainstreet.org. Thanks. Bye.